Here's why I don't like conlangs. A conlang is a constructed language or an invented language like Dothraki for Game of Thrones, or Quenya, the Elvish language in Lord of the Rings, or even Esperanto, which is designed to be a language of broader communication. Let me start by saying that I don't hate conlangs themselves. They're interesting, they're fun, they're an art form, they allow us to explore interesting ideas. Nonetheless, there are three reasons why I'm not a huge fan of conlangs, and this is why I don't tend to talk about them on my channels. First off, for me at least, compared to real languages in the world, conlangs are kind of boring. Natural languages already do so many fascinating, complicated, exotic things that a lot of times conlangers don't even think of. Now, good conlangers do their research and they go understand and learn about the diversity of the world's languages, but even so, I've never really seen a conlang that comes close to approximating the kind of depth, richness, and beauty of a natural language. A lot of conlangs wind up looking a lot like Indo-European languages or other major languages because conlangers just don't know the diversity of other ways that languages can be. The second reason I'm not a huge fan of conlangs is because sometimes I think they distort our understanding of how languages actually work. Conlangs tend to be neat and tidy and regular. Maybe their creators throw some exceptions and irregularities in, but it's this tidy thing that you create, and real language is not like that at all. Natural languages are messy and riddled with exceptions and shaped by human cognition. They are complex adaptive systems. They're not neat and tidy things. I think conlangs also sometimes give the impression that language is something that can be controlled, and it's not. A lot of times scholars or politicians will try and use language as a means to impose their particular vision on society because they think that they can control language, and by controlling language, they can control how people think. But the reality is that nobody really controls language. It's a set of conventions that emerge from the millions of interactions that we have when we speak or sign every single day. The economist Friedrich Hayek once described language as something that is the result of human action, but not of human design. Natural language is not something that can be designed. And the biggest reason that I don't give any space to conlangs on my channels is because there's so many real endangered indigenous languages out there that could use the attention so much more. These are languages spoken by communities that are working hard, really hard, to revitalize their languages again, to bring them back, to teach them to their kids again. I've seen entire communities of conlangers come together and create giant dictionaries of these fictional languages when indigenous language communities are struggling to find the same resources and the types of people who are willing to do that same kind of work. It makes me so frustrated that Google Translate supports languages like Esperanto, which has few, possibly no native speakers, but not Navajo, which is an indigenous endangered language with over 100,000 speakers. Something's wrong with that picture. So as much as possible on this channel, I really try and highlight indigenous and especially endangered languages. So that's kind of why I'm not a huge fan of conlangs. Like, yes, they're fun, I get into them myself, but on the whole, I'd really love to see more focus and attention being given to the real languages in the world that could really use that attention. And if you feel the same way and want to help shift that attention to languages that need it, I think one of the best things you can do is learn a language that helps give a minority group access. Learn American Sign Language. Learn the local indigenous language by taking language classes at your community college. Learn any minority language. It gives people more access. It doesn't force them to speak to you in the major languages that you're speaking. It validates their language as being worth learning. And you'll probably come to appreciate just how really cool these natural languages are even more.